first speaker will be Byon Garrabrant N6BG from Bionics. Okay, hello. Everyone hear me all right? Good. Okay. As Stan said, I'm Byon Garrabrant N6BG of Bionics. I'm the creator of the Tiny Track line of APRS products. I'm here in a booth number 223, so come by and visit. I guess I've got about 12 minutes from my share time to just kind of tell you what I've been doing for the last few months and what I've got coming up in the next few months. First of all, I'm planning some minor firmware improvements to Tiny Track 3. There's a couple little fixes people have suggested that I'll probably be putting out pretty soon, so expect that hopefully pretty soon. On Weather Track, unfortunately, the stations that I originally coded for, some of them have gone obsolete, so I've been looking into some new weather stations, namely the La Crosse line, the newer Oregon Scientific, and also I've got a little Kestrel handheld unit that I've been working with that I'm looking forward to adding support for. So hopefully some new weather station support for Weather Track. I've put together radio cables in the last 18 months or so, and since last Dayton I've added support for a few more radios, and I've got more coming as well in the next couple months. So if people are looking for particular radio cables and having trouble finding them, just send me an email if I don't have them, and I'm just pretty much building them as people request them. So let me know what you'd like to see, and I'll try to add it. One cable I actually just got done adding was a GPS splitter cable, so you can put it in between your GPS and your Tiny Track to split an extra DB9 line to plug into your computer. I know a lot of people were asking me about wanting to do tracking on their computer, maybe mapping software, also while the Tiny Track's running, so I now have a Y adapter for that. On my website, I've added carrying a few more products from some other people, the PowerWorks line for power poles and adapters and things like that, and also some of Jim's rather APO3 power adapters, so adding a few more things to the website. The biggest two new things I've got is we used to have last year the pocket tracker that was the APRS tracker with a transmitter built into the Altoid stand. Unfortunately, that went obsolete due to some parts no longer being available. But I was contacted by another gentleman, Alan, who put together the micro track. So it's basically the same thing as the pocket tracker, just about a low power 300 milliwatt transmitter for 14439, and you just plug a GPS into it and a 9-volt battery and track. People are using these for balloons and rockets and places where they'd like to have really low power, low weight, and also where the low power isn't really an issue because they're up high. So microtrack is new. And the last thing that I've been working on most of the last few months, and I've got coming up, is Tiny Track 4, which is kind of the next in line in the Tiny Track line. It's not meant to replace Tiny Track 3. It's just an addition to it. And what I'm trying to add with Tiny Track 4 is the ability to add packet decoding as well as encoding. I went with an Atmel chip instead of a PIC chip with this one. The decoding is being done all with digitizing with the A to D line at about 48 kilohertz. So very almost CD frequency resolution of sampling 10 bits, and then using my own custom firmware to decode the data and send it out the serial port or whatever we're going to do with it. I've also got analog and digital telemetry lines in there, so we can use that for sampling things and or whatever it ends up getting coded for. I made sure to make this one firmware programmable via just a serial port, so anyone can just go download new firmware from the website and upload it to the Tiny Track 4 with just a terminal program. I've got a more powerful processor here, so I've got more memory and CPU power for doing things. This is what it looks like in the case, and the board itself is right now just a through hole, so we can have easier kit building. But this is what it looks like here. I've been beta testing it with I think I've got about 100 beta testers right now that are been testing for about 4 or 6 weeks, and I've got a few more kits here available at Dayton. I think I've got about 6 more. So most of them are gone. If you're interested in being a beta tester, what I'm looking for is people that want to experiment with it, build things, try the different firmware, give me feedback on what you'd like to see it do, and help me kind of shape where it's going to go. If I run out and you're still interested, send me an email and talk to me about it, and if I still have space, I'm interested in anyone who's interested in really playing with it. Because I'm doing all the encoding and decoding in software, I'm really excited that I'll be able to do more than just pack it with this. For example, I've already got it working as a 1200 baud KISS TNC, and then with a code change it works as a 9600 baud KISS TNC. And then with another code change it's able to do like the TinyTrack 3 functions of tracking. But because like I said, I'm doing everything in software, I'm pretty sure I'll be able to do DTMF decoding and encoding, maybe PSK31 encoding, maybe weather data, weather same information. So I'm really excited to experiment with just different protocols, different encoding methods, and play with this. So 2 serial ports on it, so it can speak to both a computer and a GPS at the same time. And because we can update the firmware in the future, I'll just be working with the beta testers to kind of figure out what functionality and features we want to put into it. That's basically what I got. How are we doing on time? I'm fine. So if there's any questions, be happy to take them before I step down and give others time. Yes? I was considering putting USB on this for communicating to a computer. USB to speak to USB GPSs is still a pretty high-tech task to do, so it's probably going to be coming in the future eventually, but right now it's not really feasible. But definitely USB to a computer is something that you can do, but not as big of a deal because it's so easy to get those USB adapters for computers. But if you're asking about USB GPSs, it's probably going to be another year or 2 before we see those, I would guess. Yes? The floor, I'm estimating right now the kit to be about $60. The beta kits are available for, I think, 37 with tax here at Dayton. But that's still just up in the air. I mean, everything will get determined as we get closer to final. And I'm sure eventually I'll be having them built, and I'll also be making a smaller surface mount version as well. Any other questions? Yes, sir? For the TinyTrack 3, yeah, that is my plan. I will make anyone that wants an upgrade a free upgrade. Basically what you need to do is send me the chip, and I would reflash it and send it out again. So I will make my upgrades free for the TinyTrack 3. Anyone else? Yes, sir. That's a good question. I'm still up in the air on what I'm going to do with that. I'm definitely considering it, and I'll probably be discussing it with the beta testers and making a decision once I get further down the line. But yeah, I really would like to do that. So still up in the air. Any others? Okay, well we got 4 others, so thank you for your time.